another little Grade 2 listed building on the left called St Pancras Chapel. It is very much altered from its original state, but it's this building here, St Pancras Chapel, and there is also a medieval well in the garden.
Were there so many trees back in the days of the railway, or have they grown up since?
No, they would have had that clear. Railway track again is following through. Wessex Water has just recently done some work there, which is why that fencing and little green structure is, but that is the track bed, and you can see the embankment now running through on the hedgerow. So we're just coming into Roadwater. There was another set of crossing from the little lane across there, but again all of this has now been built. There's a lot of old industrial structures built on top of the line. It's the old foundry house there, 1864, and the line ran through where this Roadwater garage is, and they're built on the track bed. Let me stop you, slow up here. Yeah. If you just look to the left, I don't know if everybody can see it through here, this new house that's built, but also there's a porch which is the shape of an old carriage.
Oh, right, yeah.
See it there? And that was an original carriage, because this property was called Woodside. It was a railway carriage was put in there, and it was then extended as a dwelling. And then about 10 years ago, the property was sold off, and the carriage was retained but substantially rebuilt and kept as a porchway to the cottage. But it actually sits exactly on the line of the track bed.
Fascinating. Not a carriage from the actual railway.
No.
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 Are there any survivors of the original carriages?
No. None at all. None at all. Okay. But it's quite easy to sort of go past and miss that little feature. Nice. A lot of people ask, you know, can you walk the original track bed from Roadwater through? And quite clearly you can see that there's been so many properties built over it. It's now impossible to follow the line exactly. Just a few yards ahead, you'll see a turning that says Watermead Close. We'll need to turn
I'll just go over the bridge a bit.
yeah, we'll turn into the close itself. So it's just here on the left. Yep, this one. You can go in there and then where it says private, we can just pull in there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, no, we can do.
Can we?
Yeah.
Just watch for the pistol shots.
Oh, there's the girders. Yeah. Okay. Now this is the Roadwater station. I say where David does allow me to come in here.
It's amazing that you can still see the platform edge there.
This is the revival in 1907. Basically, where we're virtually standing at present. Again, July the 4th, when the mines were reopened and they brought the Metropolitan locomotive along here. But the station has been somewhat it's been extended at the front with this flat roof extension. Also, this end has also been extended. It's been raised because if you look at the contemporary photograph, you can see the little hip roof. It would have finished at the eaves line, and it's actually been extended up. And likewise, the chimney's been extended. But they were very much of the same design at Washford, Roadwater, I say Coombe Row, Brenton Hill and Luxborough Road. But of the stations that survived, this is really the only one that is virtually complete. But of course it's now been used as a dwelling. Go down to the track here.
Oh, that's amazing to get this close. I've seen it from the other side of the road.
Okay, so you've got 4 girders that span across, and all the bridges of this were of this type. They're wrought iron girders made from plate because in those days we weren't producing steel, not in 1957 in quantity, plus we didn't have the rolling facility to produce what we call H-section beams. So they were made to represent what you call either an I-section or H-section beam by riveting together a number of flat plates. Vertical web, top plane, bottom plane, and then angles, and all this together. The reason why there's 4 is because they originally concluded that if the mines had been so successful and they were hoping they were going to get huge quantities of ore out, they would have needed a double track to handle the traffic. So all the bridges were designed to take the double track, so that in effect when these were covered with timbers, the tracks themselves would have run roughly on top of each girder. And if you take the width of the girder, they're almost a track width. But in reality, it never happened. And this side just became a walkway, and you had just the single track running through. And of course, it's now a lane, and this is the only place where you can walk from this lane all the way up on the track bed, and also right up the incline to the top of the hill. And we'll go to the top, but we've now got to, when we leave here, we've got to deviate because we can only follow the road. We can't follow the little trackway through. The other item just to point out is one of the original railway station gates. And we've got one leaf of the gate still there. Still survives. There was the remains of the other gate, the other side, where the highways are now doing some repair work. And I took the remains of that gate out at about 3 years ago because the hedge had grown through it. But all that we've managed to salvage is just the metalwork, the hinges. They're all rusted solid, but we have at least salvaged them. Okay, so this is known as water's meat because you actually have two streams following down. The stream that you see under the arch is the one that's coming all the way and it drains the water from the incline and from all the mines and the mines on the hill. And the one that to the right is the Watford River that's meandering from Luxborough and then comes round this way, arcs round and then follows down to the obviously the one that goes down to Watford.
Here's some steam from the old locomotives, look, still trapped here. Trees. Yeah, the railway's down in the valley off to the left now, which we can't see.
Just coming up ahead, you'll see at the sign it says Brown sign. If we can pull over to the right hand side of their entrance. I just want to talk on about the kilns here.
Oh, nice.
On this left side, you'll see there's two substantial lime kilns. What you can't see is behind those kilns was the Trebra quarry, and this was a quarry for slate. A very, very old quarry. We know that it goes back best part of 600 years use, and the reason we know that in 1426 in the Dunster Castle records it does indicate that they obtained 2,000 slates from Trebra for the grand sum of 20 pence. Half of that cost was the cost of transport, which would have been horse and cart from here. So if it was operating back then, it was a substantial quarry. There is also a quarry on the other side, and they're linked underneath this road by a tunnel, and there is a tunnel going right the way through, because the quarry on the upper side eventually was so deep it needed pumping equipment to get the water out, and they could pump it and let it drain down the tunnel and then out through this lower side. In that woodland, it's now a if you like a reserve, nature reserve, but there is the remains of the cutting shop where they used to cut the slates, and that was powered by a water wheel. There was a stream and cut over a water wheel. But the reason why the lime kilns are here is that whilst it's principally slate, in amongst the slate there were veins of limestone, and as most of the land, particularly up on the top of these hills, is very acid, anywhere limestone occurred, it was very valuable. So these kilns, the quarrymen used to fetch out the lumps of limestone, and then it would be burnt in these kilns so that they could take the lime. And the lime was used principally for sweetening the ground up, and you would probably need something of between 2 and 5 tons per acre. and lime is lost quite quickly on land, taken up by plants, etc. Other uses was for mortar work, for lime washing, for sanitizing on any of the like the dairies on the farms. So it wherever it occurs, and there are one or two places across the hills you find these odd lime kilns that turn up. These, by their construction, they're known as a continuous draw type kiln. Would have probably built in the latter part of the 18th century or 19th century. We don't seem to find them built much after about 1860-ish.